dear students, welcome back to Easy Lessons. In the last video, we have been discussing about what is the purpose of documentation section. And in this video, we will be discussing about the purpose of link section. From the name itself, it's clear that link section is somewhat which is connected with linking something. And what is linking in the C program? Let us see what is the purpose of link section. C has a powerful system library which is a collection of so many header files. The header files can be identified with .h extension, and these header files are otherwise known as library files. So what is the purpose of library files? Library files contains the definitions of various functions used inside a C program. In the C program, we will be using lot of functions, and these functions may not be identified by the compiler without its definition. So the header files which contains the definitions of the functions should be attached with the C program for the proper execution. So a link section is used to link these system libraries with the program file. And this linking is made possible with the help of #include statement. Some of the examples of library files are math.h, stdlib.h, stdio.h. So we have to identify, or we have to recognize which all header files are used inside our program, and these header files should be included with the program as #include math.h or #include stdio.h. According to the complexity of the program, the number of header files used in the program may vary. So according to the requirement, we may link as many header files with our program. So this is a link section. Link section is used to link the system library files with our program file. And next is a two sections which is not so important in the beginning stages. So we are moving on to the main function by skipping definition section and global declaration section. We are moving on to the main function section. The main function section can be denoted as main with an empty bracket. And the main function is the most important part of a C program. The whole program is written inside the main function. The main function begins with a curly brackets and ends with a closing curly brackets. And the whole program statements will be written in between these curly brackets. Note that all the C program statements should be written in lowercase letters, and all the statements are terminated with a semicolon. And we have already seen that main function is divided into two parts, declaration part and executable part. So first of all, we have to see what is declaration. So declaration can be defined as the process of allocating memory for each and every variable inside the program. So this is a definition of declaration. Declaration is a process of allocating memory for each and every variable inside the program. So in this definition, we have to see what is a program and what is a variable and what is a process of allocating memory, or what is the meaning of allocating memory. So let us see what is a program. Program can be defined as a set of instructions in order to perform a particular task. set of instructions to perform a particular task. So in order to perform a task, we have to supply the program with some input values. And these input values are converted to meaningful output using some sort of mathematical or logical calculations. So in a program, we have to deal with a lot of data. These data should be stored in the computer memory, and it should be retrieved and used for calculations, and again the output should be given back to the user. So these data are stored in the primary memory, and these data which are given by the user is known as variables. So let us see what is a variable. Variable, from the name itself, it's clear that something varies. Suppose we are doing a program to find the sum of two numbers. And when the program is being executed, we know that for the first time, the user may give two numbers like 10 and 20. Suppose the program is being executed for the second time, the user may give another two numbers, 4 and 6. And in the third execution, we may give 100 and 200. So the data given by the user may vary from execution to execution. So as the data given by the user varies, it is known as a variable. So variable means a value which always changes. And these are the data given by the user. So these variables should be stored in the primary memory in proper memory locations. And when these variables are stored in the memory locations, these memory locations are given a certain name, and they are known as variable names. Suppose we want to store a number, we can store that particular number in a variable. Suppose the data is 10, and this variable can be named as A. So each variable has its own name. And in the primary memory when it is stored, the variable always have a variable name and a particular address. Let it be 1000. Each memory cell is having a particular address, and each address can store a single bit of data. So variables are names of memory locations which are stored in the primary memory, and it contains the data which is given by the user. So in order to store some data in the memory, before writing the program, we have to reserve the memory for storing the data. That is, suppose we want to store 3 variables in a program, in advance we have to reserve memory for these variables. Like, when we are going to construct a house, we will be buying certain land before starting the construction. When we start to write some notes, we have to buy an empty notebook to hold the data. Likewise, before storing data in a program, we have to reserve memory for that particular variable. So when we get a program, we have to identify what is the output to be generated and what are the inputs to be provided to the system by the user in order to generate a particular output. So in that manner, we have to analyze the total number of variables used inside the program. And these variables should be reserved, the memory for these variables should be reserved in advance. So the process of reserving memory is otherwise known as memory allocation. So here we got the meaning of 3 words. What is a program, what is a variable, and what is the purpose of allocating memory. So in declaration, what is done? The process of we are allocating certain memory for each and every variable inside the program. So only after declaration we can write the executable statements. The main function contains 2 parts, declaration and executable part. By this, let us conclude this section, and in the next video we will be discussing about the steps to declare a variable. Okay, thank you once again. Please like the video, share it and subscribe it. Thank you.